Hello everybody, how is it going today? It is Tyler here with Zone In Sports. Happy NFL Sunday, man. We're going to go ahead and get into it quick. We'll be zoning in on the Week 3 NFL lines. And I didn't get any trends together for today's video, man. Like I mentioned in the college football picks, I just did not have much time throughout this week to get things done. But I will go through real quickly and tell you my straight plays for the day, give out our teaser of the week, and I'll also talk about a few player props that I am looking into. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get straight into it. Thursday night, man, Steelers-Browns, we had that under, and of course that did not come through. That game was nowhere near how I expected it or probably anyone else. But yeah, that game ended up going over by, I think, about 8 points or so. But either way, we'll get into today's picks for Sunday. We got the Ravens laying 3 as they head to New England to take on the Patriots. We got both teams at 1-1 on the year. I think the Ravens will go into New England and get this victory today. I will be on Ravens money line at -146 there. For anytime touchdown, I am considering Mark Andrews at +135 in this one. Definitely think he will catch one today from Lamar. His over-under is 61.5 receiving yards. I think he could go over that, but personally I will just be including Andrews at 50+ receiving and some parlays. It's -210, but like I said, it's going in some parlays. So like that a lot. Definitely looking at possibly taking Mac Jones under the 241.5 passing yards. So that is just a high number for Mac Jones, man. I was surprised when I saw that. He could definitely get up there in a game where I think they could be behind early, but I don't know. This could stay tight. I just see them running the ball more. Mac Jones under 241.5 passing. I like that a lot. And on the other side there, of course, I'll go Damian Harris over 45.5 rushing at -118. Not sure exactly as to why his rushing number is so low. I know Stevenson's been getting a lot of touches too, but Harris should be able to get over 45.5 for sure. Also, might be looking at Lamar 50+ rushing at -120. Might throw that in some parlays as well. Moving on to the Bills, laying 4.5 at the Dolphins. Both teams are 2-0 this year, and both teams have covered each of their first 2 games. Over-under on this one has moved from 53.5 down to 52.5. I definitely like the over a lot in this game. Not going to count it as a straight play. We'll definitely just throw it in some teasers, get it down a few more points. But we still like that a lot there. For any time touchdown in this one, I am considering Jalen Waddle at +140 there for the Dolphins. He's scored in week 1, scored 2 last week. I definitely think he continues to score this week. It's just one of those games where I'm expecting a lot of points, so you could probably take a lot of different guys in this one. I definitely prefer taking Waddle over Tyreek Hill just because all the attention will be on Hill. What might help open up Waddle a little bit more. On the Bills side, Diggs, you can never go wrong there. I believe he's like -130. Josh Allen maybe runs one in. But yeah, I say my pick would be Waddle. But really, there's probably 4, 5, 6 different guys you could take in this game. I do also like Waddle's receiving. Set at over under 63.5, so I'll just go to 60+ receiving yards for Waddle at -130. I do like, for parlays only, Josh Allen going alternate 250+ passing. His over under is 277.5. I do believe he can go over that number, but personally myself will just be throwing 250+ passing yards and some parlays there. Also, we'll be throwing Diggs at 70+ receiving yards at -186. That'll go in some parlays too. Next, we got Saints laying 2.5 as they travel to Carolina to take on the Panthers. The over-under on this one has moved from 40.5 up to 41.5, and I was considering taking the under in this one, but instead I'm going to go ahead and take Saints money line at -136. Both teams are 0-2 against the spread this season. Panthers have not won yet. Saints are 1-1. Kamara's back this week. Not sure if he'll be out there, full amount of snaps like he usually is. But either way, I just think they're definitely the better team here. They should be able to get the job done. I'm not worried about them being on the road, man. Baker Mayfield stinks. Panthers' defense does not look good. Their offensive line has been struggling. Say McCaffrey's been doing fine, but he's the only one, really. So I'm going to go Saints money line minus 136. Only thing I'll mention as far as props in this one is I'll definitely take Kamara to come back in week 3 here and get a touchdown at plus 105. And I might even look at Michael Thomas at plus 155. He's had a solid comeback to start this season as well. Moving on to the Chiefs, laying 5.5 at the Indianapolis Colts. And I'll definitely be laying that there. That'll be our straight play on this one. Chiefs minus 5.5 at minus 110. They're 2-0 on the year, covered 1 out of the 2 games, where the Colts are 0-1-1 with that tie in week 1 against the Texans, so they have not covered either of their first two disappointing games for them against the Texans and Jags. Definitely should have won both of those games. I don't care if guys were injured, man. So you're still the better team, and it's just not looked good so far for that offense or the defense. Either side of the ball, it's just been rough. I will be considering Kelsey for anytime touchdown, minus 135 there. Also, we'll look at him for 70-plus receiving yards at minus 128. And I think Mahomes could get around 275-plus passing. That's minus 180. So I'll be looking to include those in some parlays and stuff. Moving on, we got the Lions getting 6 points as they traveled to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Nice little NFC North matchup here. Over-under moved down from 53.5 to 52.5, which kind of surprises me because the Lions have one of the best offenses in the league to start the year, honestly. They've been putting up a lot of points, and their defense I don't think is very good, so I think the Vikings will be able to put up a lot of points in this one. So we'll definitely consider taking the over for this game, maybe, just buy some points in teasers or whatnot but my straight play on this one is actually going to be a little anytime touchdown / money line double, where we'll be taking Justin Jefferson touchdown with the Vikings money line at plus 115. Now, you can take this by itself. If you just go over to the parlays tab, you'll be able to see it right there. It'll say anytime touchdown / money line. Or you could just go make a same game parlay yourself and just take anytime touchdown for JJ and throw in the Vikings money line. But it'll be slightly worse odds. Not much of a difference, but just so that way you know how to take that there. Also, I'll be considering, just for parlays only for touchdowns on this, Cook at minus 180 and then Jefferson at minus 170. That's why for the straight on this one, we went with the double with the Jefferson touchdown and the Vikings win to get the better odds there at plus 115. Lions players I think could score. Amon-Ra St. Brown's been on a crazy tear going back to last season, man. I think he's got 8 games straight where he's had 8 catches, a touchdown, certain amount of yards. I don't know. This dude's just, nobody can guard him. It's insane. So definitely consider taking him at plus 110 to score. Swift at plus 115. He's questionable. He's going to be questionable every week. So you guys got to be careful looking into these NFL injury reports, man. A lot of them, guys just are limited throughout the week. And if they're limited at practice, they have to be put on the injury report. And for the most part, guys are usually good to go if they're listed questionable. It's very rare that if a guy is listed questionable that he will actually end up being out. And if that's the case, you'll usually actually know that more earlier in the week. Once you get to Sunday, it's a very good chance that they're going to go if they're still listed questionable. But yeah, I think Swift has a good chance to get in. And also for Swift, I like him to go over 49.5 rushing at minus 110 there. That's good value, man. Low number. He has been running pretty well this season. So yeah, I definitely like him to go over 49.5 rushing yards. I do like Dalvin Cook also for some parlays for 70-plus rushing at minus 178. And then Jefferson, depending on what kind of odds you're looking for, you could go 80-plus receiving at minus 230 or 90-plus receiving at minus 152. Like I said, though, it's just stuff that I'll be throwing in some player prop parlays. Also considering Amon-Ra St. Brown at the 60-plus receiving yards at minus 200 there. We'll be sprinkling all that stuff in different parlays throughout the day. So yeah, just make sure you follow us on Twitter at ZoneInSports. Link is in the description for that. We'll post all of our parlays there for our player props and all that good stuff. So yeah, make sure you go follow us over there. Link in description. Next, we got the Eagles laying 6.5 as they travel to Washington to take on the Commanders. Eagles 2-0 on the year. Commanders 1-1. My straight play on this one is going to be another little player prop double. This one I made on my own, so you have to use same game parlay to make this. It'll be A.J. Brown, 50-plus receiving yards with the Eagles' money line, and together that gets you minus 132 on FanDuel. So that's solid little value there. I think A.J. Brown definitely gets at least 50 receiving. You could even go 60-plus or 70-plus to get you more like around plus 100 on the value there. So it just depends on what you're looking for, but I think nice safe play. 50-plus receiving for AJ with the Eagles win is minus 132, man. Lock that in. And for anytime touchdowns, we will consider Jalen Hurts at minus 120, AJ Brown at plus 110. And now the value on this I like a lot. Devontae Smith at plus 250, man. I really do like that. He could break one at any time, man, especially against this Washington team. So definitely consider Smith at plus 250 there. I also like Smith receiving yards today. I think it was over under 45.5. But I'll just go down to the alternate 40-plus receiving there for Devontae Smith at minus 146. Solid little play there. Next, we got the Raiders. I'm going to take Raiders money line minus 130 over the Titans, man. The Titans are banged up, man, on both sides of the ball here, missing some key guys, including Taylor Lewan. So I just don't see them being able to keep up. Both of these teams have been bad to start the year, both 0-2 straight up and against the spread. So something's got to give here. Someone's got to get their first victory, and I think it'll be the road team, man. Vegas will come in and get the job done. They're without Hunter Renfrow this week, but not too worried about that. Devontae Adams did not get a whole lot of looks last week, so I think they will be looking to feed him this week, and I could see him having a huge game. But yeah, for anytime touchdown in this game, we are considering Devontae Adams there at minus 130, and also Mack Hollins at plus 270. I like that value a lot. He'll be getting a lot more looks since Hunter Renfrow is out, and he's a big body that they can target near the goal line, man. So, Darren Waller also a solid pick, of course, as well. I didn't write it down, but I believe Darren Waller is at 4.5 receptions, and I think I took him last week over 4.5 or 5.5, and it hit. So I like that a lot again this week, and I believe it was actually plus money there. So yeah, definitely consider those two touchdowns as well as Darren Waller over his receptions, whether it's 4.5 or 5.5. I like it either way. And then, maybe take Derrick Henry for 70-plus rushing yards at minus 180 in some parlays. And, it's somewhat a low number for Derrick Henry, man. I definitely think for them to keep this game competitive, he's going to have to get going. He's got to. All right, and the last couple 1 o'clock games, Bengals laying 6 at the Jets. I did not end up doing anything with this game at all. I didn't think the Bengals would be as good as they were last year this year, but they have been a little bit worse than I expected them to be. And, this seems like a solid little get-right spot as they play the Jets. But, hey, the Jets put up 31 points on the Cleveland Browns defense last week, which I think is a better unit than the Bengals defense. Not by a long shot, really, but, slightly better. Either way, I don't want to lay 6 with the Bengals going on the road here. Game they definitely should win, but as you've seen the first couple of weeks, lots of teams are losing games that they should win. So that's just the way it goes. I didn't want to put much thought into that one. Not going to mess with it at all. The other 1 o'clock game, I'll mention real quickly, Texans at Bears. I was considering taking Bears money line, but I'm not going to pick a winner in this one. I will just mention a couple touchdown scorers that I am looking to sprinkle on. Khalil Herbert, the backup running back at plus 390. Very solid value there. He gets a good amount of snaps in games, man. I'm surprised that it's plus 390 there for him. So I'll definitely look to sprinkle that in somewhere. As well as Cole Kmet, also plus 390. So if it's not Darnell Mooney catching the pass, it'd have to be Cole Kmet, right? So, plus 390, that's kind of wild value if you ask me. That's big tight end. I know Fields seems to look to his way, on third downs and stuff like that. So if they get in the red zone, man, I think if they're not running the ball, you could see Fields try to dot one up to Kmet, man. Either way, both these guys, Herbert and Kmet, both plus 390. Solid value, so it's not like you'd be risking much, man. You can just do little sprinkles on those. I like it a lot there. And moving on to the afternoon games, I don't have a lot on these at all. I will talk real quickly about the Jaguars at the Chargers. It opened as Jags plus 7, and it moved down to 3.5. It's because of all the injuries for the Chargers, man. The over-under even dropped from 47.5 to 42.5. Still questionable is Herbert and Keenan Allen. So two huge, huge assets for that offense that they need. So you got to be quick when there's injuries like this. I'm not going to have anything on this game. I will mention if Allen does end up being out, I will look at some Mike Williams props if Herbert plays. But if Herbert's out, then I'll probably just not mess with this game at all. Maybe just some props for Austin Eckler. Well, not maybe, but definitely some props for Eckler if Herbert is out, because that means they're going to have to run the ball more. So, yeah, just one of those things you're going to have to check our Twitter and see what we give out for that game as we get closer to game time, because I believe it'll probably be, within an hour of kickoff when we find out if those guys are playing. You got Falcons at the Seahawks there, close to a pick 'em basically. Just two teams that I think stink, and I just didn't want to mess with it at all, so we'll move on to the next one. We got the Packers at the Buccaneers, another game that's basically a pick 'em. And I don't know where to go on that one. I'm not going to pick a winner or anything. Just going to mention a couple props for you. And we got a lot of receivers out on both sides of the ball in this one, but the Packers look to be healthier on the O-line. So possibly look at, some Aaron Jones or A.J. Dillon rushing props possibly. I believe Dillon's at like 45.5 yards and Jones at 50.5 yards. Jones is an odd one to bet because he ends up getting a lot of quick little dump passes where he gets a lot of yards there. So honestly, I usually prefer to go Jones receiving yards, that is. But we'll go ahead and for touchdowns, I'm definitely going to take Leonard Fournette, man. He was also questionable going into the week, but I'm not worried about it, man. They're going to be feeding him the rock. Minus 105 for him to score. They do not have Mike Evans or Chris Godwin this week. Julio also questionable. Sounds like he should be good to go, but might be a little limited. So the receivers are going to be like Scotty Miller and Cole Beasley, who they just signed on the practice squad this week and had to activate him since everyone else is out. Russell Gage, I think he might be out too. I don't know. Literally every receiver on that team was questionable this week. It's insane. So yeah, we like Fournette to score minus 105. We also like him for rushing. His over-under was 71.5 or 70.5. So I just went 70 plus rushing at minus 112. Definitely think he hits 70 there. One of those games where you could see him hit 100. But at the same time, Packers D isn't terrible by any means. So they might key in on him with all of the Buccaneers receivers being out. Another touchdown that I will mention, nice little sprinkle here. At plus 450, you can get Cameron Brate to score. So, that's tight end there for the Buccaneers. Him and Kyle Rudolph, I think, will get some looks in this game with all the receivers out. So definitely consider sprinkling on a little Brate touchdown. Plus 450, man, good value. Also, with the Packers, they got receivers out as well. Sammy Watkins hit the IR, and I believe Cobb is out with an illness or something else. It's hard to keep track, man. Christian Watson, I think, is actually the one out with an illness, or one of them's got an ankle, one's got a hammy. I don't know. There's so much going on in this game with the receivers. But yeah, we'll look at Robert Tonyan, over 27.5 receiving yards. I believe that's a low number for a guy that's going to probably get more looks than usual with, Watkins and other guys out. Lazard will get a lot of looks as well. I think his over-under is even pretty low, so even consider looking at him there. But yeah, it's just a tough game to bet when you got so many injuries. Another good game here at the 425 window. You got Rams laying 3.5 at the Arizona Cardinals. This game I am not going to mess with at all. If you want to take any touchdowns in this, probably just go Cooper Kupp. I think it's like minus 150. I mean, that he's a machine, man. Stafford loves him. He hits him all game long. So he could break one at any time or just catch one with a little toe tap with the red zone look. I don't know. I just don't want to mess with this game at all. Might end up throwing some props out on Twitter for it, but as far as like picking a side or over-under on the total, I'm not going to mess with it, man. I would like to think that the Rams win this one, but after the Cardinals came back from being down 20-0 last week to Vegas, I don't know, man. Maybe Kyler's got the magic back in him. Maybe he found something. But yeah, I'm not going to mess with this game too much. And moving on to the Sunday night game, we finally got another straight play here. We got the 49ers laying 1.5 points there as they travel to Denver to take on the Broncos. Over-under has moved from 44.5 down to 43.5. Both of these teams are 1-1 on the year. Broncos have not covered either of the first two matchups where the 49ers have split against the spread. Our play on this one is going to be the San Francisco 49ers money line at minus 126. Very tough blow for them last week as Trey Lance went down with a broken ankle, man. It was very nasty. I was watching the game when it happened. I didn't really notice what it was, but I knew it was bad, obviously, because they brought the card out. And then, of course, they pull up the replay, and they're like, yeah, just look at his right leg. And, yeah, as soon as they said that, I'm like, oh, no. I wish I did not watch it. Because it was ugly, man. I feel so bad for Lance, man. He finally gets his shot, and it's gone just like that in week 2, man. So they're back with Jimmy G. So, a lot of these guys very more familiar with Jimmy G. So I think the 49ers will be able to handle this game pretty easily. I think they win by at least a touchdown, maybe 2 scores, honestly. Because the Broncos' offense, what I've seen from them so far, has just not been good. I wasn't expecting it to be a great offense by any means with them adding Russ. Like a lot of other people was expecting them to just be great all of a sudden. It didn't make much sense to me, man. I like their weapons and stuff, but you got to think Russ is getting up there in age. Ever since he effed up his thumb last year, or maybe it wasn't his thumb. I think it might have been his middle finger. Either way, it's just, I don't think Russ is the same Russ, man. He's still good, can still get you, to the playoffs possibly, especially with a good defense, but I think the 49ers will win this game for sure, man. We'll be considering taking some touchdowns here. Deebo Samuel at plus 115, man. I take him almost every week. I definitely like that a lot. He did not score last week, so look for him to be hungry to get in there this week, whether it's through the air or on the ground. I think he gets in. Now, George Kittle making his first start of the season as he missed the first couple of games, coming back from that, I think it was a knee injury last season. So, yeah, I think Kittle has a chance to score in this one. Plus 220, good value there. I think it's only plus 220 because they might be expecting him to be a little limited, being his first game action of the year, but I'm not worried. I think he's going to be out there a good amount, and I think there's a good chance he scores. I also like him to get 40-plus receiving yards at minus 172. We'll be throwing that in some parlays for sure. And then Jeff Wilson with the 49ers. He's the guy that is taken over for Eli Mitchell as a starting running back with Mitchell's injury, of course, back in week 1. I actually like Jeff Wilson to go under the 58.5 rushing yards here. I do think he will get around 50, but I don't think there's any chance he gets 60. As I do like Deebo, 25-plus rushing yards at minus 220. Obviously, that'll be parlays only. I think his over-under is like 33.5 or something like that. Either way, I think Deebo's going to get a lot of looks in this one where Jeff Wilson, he'll get his touches, but I don't think it'll be enough for him to get 60 rushing yards. So we'll go under 58.5 at minus 113 there with Jeff Wilson. Then moving on to the Monday night game. Don't have a lot on this one. I'll just mention a few touchdowns as well as a straight play. Tried to talk myself out of it, man, but I'm going to hop on the Giants, man. Giants money line minus 116 at home as they host the Cooper Rush-led Cowboys. Now, them Cooper Rush-led Cowboys actually looked pretty solid last week because they were able to get a victory over the Cincinnati Bengals. Now this week, I think going to New York, the Giants, man, they've looked solid to start the year, 2-0, covered both games. But the Cowboys are 1-1 on the year, both straight up and against the spread. Basically a pick 'em here. The spread actually moved. The Cowboys were getting 2.5, now getting just 1. So basically a pick 'em, like I said. Giants money line -116. We're gonna take that from Monday Night Football. The over/under is pretty low on this one at 39.5, so maybe consider that over. But based off of how last week's game went for New York, maybe it's low scoring like that too. Lots of field goals, but hopefully not a lot of field goals, as the touchdowns we are considering is all on the Giants side. As Saquon Barkley, of course, is one that I will definitely take at -110 there. Possibly Sterling Shepard at +280, decent value there. No Kadarius Toney this week for the Giants. I know he hasn't been getting much involved in the offense anyways, but, Shepard could, get some looks here. Someone's got to catch passes, right? Also, Daniel Jones, man, he likes to get loose sometimes. Maybe Daniel Jones runs one in. I like him at +260 as well. And, yeah, maybe a nice little sprinkle at +1100. Touchdown for the Giants defense. Maybe Cooper Rush throws a pick 6 in this one, man. I don't know. Just throwing it out there, man. +1100. It's things like that happens Monday night, man. So we'll have like a same game parlay Monday night, of course. So check our Twitter to see that when we give it out. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up, man. Like I said, just wanted to go over a few straight plays and some player props for this week. Real quickly, before we get into the kickoffs, man, I should have this up a couple hours before the game starts, so hopefully it's enough time for people to get some of these plays in. We'll go over the straight plays again real quick, as we have Ravens money line, Saints money line, Chiefs -5.5. Got Justin Jefferson anytime touchdown with the Vikings win at +115. We got A.J. Brown 50+ receiving yards with the Eagles win at -132. We got Raiders money line, 49ers money line, and Giants money line to finish it off Monday night. And then quickly we will give out our teaser of the week. Remember, we'll be giving out a teaser every single week. And we usually run, 2 or 3. The other ones just get posted on Twitter. This one here, I will give you guys the 6-leg +5 teaser. It gets you +700 odds. We will get the Ravens up to +2.5. The Bills and Dolphins down to over 47.5 points. We got the Chiefs at -0.5. We got the Vikings at -1, Eagles -1.5, and the 49ers and Broncos to go under 48.5. So I really like this one a lot. I definitely think the Eagles, Vikings, Chiefs, and Ravens all win. And then I like the plays on both of those totals there, especially getting the points we have with the +5 teaser. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. That's going to do it for our straight picks this week and our teaser of the week. Be sure to follow some of our touchdown plays. I guess I'll give out my top 3. My top 3 touchdown plays out of all the ones I gave out for this week will be Deebo Samuel at +115. Travis Kelce at -135. And our third favorite for today will be Davante Adams at -130. So there you go, man. Went over some player props, our teaser of the week, and some straight plays as well. I hope you guys enjoyed, man. I hope you win some money today. And yeah, let's get into it, man. Let's get into Sunday. Have a nice little day. Get some wins. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment below your thoughts, any questions, any concerns about any of my picks or anything like that. Just go ahead and leave your thoughts below. Follow us over on Twitter, see what parlays we formulate up for the day at Zone In Sports down below in the description. Follow us there. Also subscribe here to the YouTube channel if you have not already, and leave a like on the video. It'd be greatly appreciated. Once again, thanks for tuning in. I know I got this up late, so if you got time to follow any of these plays, man, that's sweet. Let's get it, man.